motherhood is running rampant in society, and it's terrible.
I mean, sure, we can all agree that it's terrible. That's fine. That's an easy out. But the truth is, as a society, none of us want to give up the things resulting in single motherhood. None of us want to give up that promiscuous sex. None of us want to give up the chase. None of us want to be proper Muslim men and avert our eyes whenever we see women until such a time that we want to start a family. So to say it's terrible, while 99% of us going out there and having that promiscuous sex, it's kind of surface level.
What are you talking about? Celibacy is through the roof right now in society for both men and women. Women recently caught up to men, and I haven't had sex in years. And averting my eyes is super easy because it happens automatically. Because have you seen the types of women that we have nowadays? Purple hair, size 50,000. They're just wearing moo because nothing really fits. They don't even shave their armpits anymore. This is a feminist nightmare that's out there for single men.
No, 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 because here's the thing. Women have always modified their behaviors to adapt to the men they want. So if they're purple haired women out there, someone's out there giving those purple haired women their attention. Someone's saying, "Oh, you look so hot, queen." And if at the end of the day, we're talking about overweight women, there are men out there that love it. I mean, I've it's one of the most recent things I've heard where, I like a woman when I take her on a date. She actually has a hearty meal. No one wants to sit beside the woman eating what my food eats. That's not cool. So it doesn't change the fact that even if you tell me celibacy is through the roof, if 50% of people are not having sex, that still means the other 50% is having a lot of sex. So it doesn't change as a whole the situation. It's our fault.
Yeah, but they might be having sex, but maybe they're not producing any children. And it's not just women being overweight. There's all sorts of characteristics that are turning men away. They got piercings and tattoos and body modifications and smells and drugs and all sorts of other stuff going on. But it's not just that. It's just that women are specifically going after single motherhood. It's not even something that just happens anymore. Now they are specifically targeting it on purpose through means such as they go to a sperm bank or they sperm jack a man. They have sex and they don't tell the man that that she was lying about birth control, so she just gets impregnated. Or cloning, because that's a new thing now, is that women, they don't even need men at all. They're just going to clone themselves and give birth to themselves again, as if we need another one of those in society. Or they purposely alienate the father so that just they get to control the child alone. Or they kill the father and they manage to get away with the murder, because in this society we let women get away with everything. Or they adopt or whatever. So they're specifically seeking out single motherhood, sometimes just because they think that men are evil, and that the child is deserving of this disaster of a childhood without a father, or that they just can't find a father at the moment, so that they're just like, oh, I'll just do it by myself, and to hell with having a good childhood for the kid. It's terrible. Or they do it just for the money, because the government will give them everything. They'll give them a car, a house, cell phone, internet, education for the kid, health care for the kid. And then they're like, oh well, I barely have to work now. I'm just mooching off the government to have the kid, and I get to stay at home all day. It's driving me nuts.
Everything that you just said is false, though. Ultimately, no matter how you look on it, as a society, we have biological impulses. So a woman wants to reproduce past the age of 30. We all spoke about the biological clock is ticking. So there's no preventing that. We've made a society that is now peaceful for everybody. End of the day, men can do the same thing if they want. They can go and adopt, or they can go to the club, or they can pay someone to surrogate for them, right? The benefits they're going to get from the government, there's no one going out there becoming a millionaire on benefits from the government. If you've raised kids or you've seen kids, all the money that the government's going to give you for that currently will not be enough. So most of these single mothers are not living great lives unless they're a single mother to a basketball star. If they're going out there and they're actually having sperm jacking or whatever and the deadbeat dad runs off, most of them are living horribly. So at the end of the day, this is not a thing where we can just say they're chasing wealth in doing it. We've made it that they get a lot of money for doing it. That's really not the case at all. That's pretty false. Most single moms, whether they get ejected from the dating market, they definitely don't get their good girl summer anymore. They have that crying kid that they now try to pawn onto every other date they have, and their moms and their dads and their cousins and their sisters. The if what you were saying was true, we would expect all these single moms to be happy and living great. They're not. They're miserable. So
It
that's just not true.
it doesn't matter if they're rich or poor. Either way, they're putting these children into a single mother household, which is terrible. And it wasn't that they were having a good girl summer. Get over it. It was a hot girl summer. They were out there trying to become single moms. And the only gender that I would support being a single parent would be men. Why? Because the men are less likely to get any support from the government, so they're earning their own way, and men have been shown to raise a child as a single parent a lot better than women. Children raised by single mothers often end up as prisoners in jail. They end up as feminists. They end up as leftists and liberals. They end up on some sort of welfare and just
No,
detriment to
everything you're
society.
saying is false. The only reason that number is so high is because no guy chooses to be a single father. They're more likely to bail, and it is what it is. Because you know what? If we didn't have government programs like child support, as soon as the baby is born, that dude's out. He's bouncing. There's no question. Most of them. And if you have this big problem with single mothers in society, they need the help. Feel free to wife them.